so staticky. Yeah, but it was like staticky. It was really all staticky and stuff. I posted an email to Elliot asking who my engineer was going to be, so I guess it's you. Is it going to be
It's
you
me.
all week?
Yeah, it'll be me all week.
Oh my God, Mandy, we haven't like talked. I mean, we've emailed each other for the last 4 or 5 months, but we haven't spoken to each other.
Yeah, so it's gonna be nice. I think we'll get some time
Yeah,
to
it'd be
to
great.
hang out.
As far as tomorrow goes,
I still
what?
need to reach out directly to Alicia. I meant to do that on Friday, and then I don't remember
Oh,
what happened.
okay, okay.
But I'll reach out to her today. Hmm.
Only if she wants to. I don't know if we may have read together before. I don't
I think you have possibly like in person when you guys were still in the studio. I think so. I think so.
know. Okay, then it shouldn't be a problem. But I was thinking we would meet 15 minutes before, like at 8:45,
Okay.
just to coordinate. If she's willing to do that.
I think so. I'll check with her. I'll send an email today, and then let you know if I hear anything back. But if you want to just kind of
Okay.
prepare to be around tomorrow morning, uh,
Yeah,
just pop on, and it should be fine. Yeah.
I'll be here for sure.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're both going to come through you, right?
Yeah. We'll be in this
Okay.
this same meeting right here, so everything should work the same, except for you guys will have to figure out how you'll go back and forth, with the
Yeah, we'll
with the
just do
articles
it
and all.
like, yeah, we'll just do it. Yeah. And I just want to be clear with her. It shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes to figure that out, especially if we've done it before. So I can't remember. I did it with somebody. We probably did, but I think I did it with everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure over the amount of time that you've been, I'm sure you have. All right, we got
Yeah.
about a minute left. We're still kind of going over YouTube, but
Okay,
nothing
that's
wrong with us
okay.
having a little chit chat.
No. So is Matt off for just this week or for 2 weeks?
I'm not sure yet. For sure this week. For sure this week, and then I think it's kind of a wait and see for sure.
Yeah. And did you guys get any word from City Council on how Ed's presentation went? I tried to watch it. I think I
Uh,
was too late coming into the council meeting.
yeah, I'm not sure on that just yet.
I'm not sure where he was on the agenda.
Yeah, he did
So,
he did speak in front of council, and I think he did great. He did a lot of explaining on what we do. Look, it's 9 o'clock, so I'm guessing we should probably.
okay, sounds
He's
good.
probably
Sounds
got
good
us
to me.
going on the TV. So
Okay,
I
I
think
was going.
what does Matt normally do? He normally introduces you a little bit. Do you have your news
Yeah,
open?
yeah. Everything's all set and ready to go.
Okay. Well, good morning. Thanks for tuning in to Local News Live. Again, thank you to our gracious volunteer, Bruce Cohen, for reading the news for us. And I'm going to go ahead and move out of your way, Bruce, and let you just take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Mandy. It's so great to hear your voice and to see a picture that looks like you. That not actually
I
the
didn't have
real
my camera
you.
on this morning. Thank you, Bruce. We appreciate you.
Thank you. You're hearing Mandy's voice this morning because our usual engineer, main man Matt, is off this week, as is his sorely needed a vacay. And so Mandy is filling in as engineer. Thank you, Mandy. So good morning, Acadiana. Today is Monday, August 10th, and we have a few stories to read to you this morning. First of all, budget hearings, a battleground for councils, CFO, city taxpayers keeping parish government afloat, by Claire Taylor, staff writer. Hearings on the 2020-21 budget proposed by Lafayette Parish Mayor President Josh Guillory have highlighted something many have said for years. Taxpayers in the city of Lafayette are keeping parish operations afloat. Thursday's review by the city parish councils of the budget for Guillory's own department showed the city of Lafayette is paying 79% of his expenses and the parish 21%. Chief Financial Officer Lori Toops said the split was based on what the parish can afford to pay and is the same used in previous years. In reviewing the legal department's budget, also based on a 79-21 split, City Councilwoman Liz Abear offered an amendment to change the split to 50-50, prompting Tubes to object. Doing so, Tubes said, would leave the parish budget with a negative. In other words, there isn't enough money in the parish budget to pay more than 21 of the expenses for the legal department. This is the first budget presented by Guillory and the first for the separate city and parish councils, which took office in January. From 1996 until January, Lafayette Consolidated Government, or LCG, was governed by a combined city-parish council where council members whose districts consisted primarily of residents outside the city of Lafayette had the same vote on the city's budget and operations as council members whose constituents were primarily in the city of Lafayette. In December 2018, voters amended the Home Rule Charter, creating separate city and parish councils in an effort to give city taxpayers more representation and control over their tax dollars. Followers of the current budget hearings are witnessing the new city council fighting to gain control over city tax dollars against the parish council and administration, resistant to relinquishing control over city tax revenues that have helped parish governments stay afloat for years. The fix of the charter was never meant to fix everything, said Haber, who served on the former city parish council, said in an interview on Friday. It was meant to kick the door down and show the people the issues we're having with the budget. The issues have always been there, she said, they just weren't discussed. Now you have a designated council fighting for the city of Lafayette's economy, Hebert said. The battleground is the budget and the size have largely been decided. Most of the city council versus most of the parish council along with Guillory and its administration. City Councilman Andy Naquin, District 2, has sided from time to time with the parish when he previously served on the city parish council representing the only district entirely in the city. A series of budget amendments offered by city council members may prove conscientious when they come up for a vote during the budget warm-up and final adoption on August 27th and September 10th, putting the two councils against one another over who should control city tax dollars. Despite proclamations from Guillory that 4 recreation centers in largely Black, economically challenged neighborhoods will remain open, City Councilman Glenn Lazar, during a budget hearing on Thursday, offered an amendment to transfer $3.5 million in city general fund money to Parks and Rec to keep them open. Naquin objected, forcing a separate vote and budget wrap-up. Guillory's 2020-21 budget has the parish government contributing no money to parks and recreation in the fiscal year that begins November 1st. Some city council members are asking why the parish council has a vote on parks and recreation's budget if the parish contributes nothing. When LCG attorneys hired by Guillory saying the parish council can vote on the parks and recreation budget, some are sitting the city council needed to hire its own attorney. City council has served on before consolidation in 1996 had its own attorney, beholden only to the city council, Chris Williams said Sunday during an interview on Community Hour, a radio show hosted by former city parish councilman Kenneth Boudreau on KNEK Magic 104.7. The current city council, Williams advised, should assign itself its own attorney as a fiscal advisor to provide expertise during the budget hearings and moving forward. The councils are scheduled to adopt the budget on September 10th. According to the charter, 4 out of 5 members of each council are needed to adopt the budget. If the parish council rejects the city council's proposed amendments to use city tax dollars for functions Guillory cut, such as Parks and Rec, Lafayette Science Museum, and the Hyman Performing Arts Center, will the city council vote against the proposed budget in an attempt to force the parish council to reconsider? If the council has failed to adopt a budget by October 1st, 30 days before the start of the new fiscal year, the current budget remains in effect for up to 6 months, using 50% of current expenditures, the charter states. Problems with the Home Rule Charter, Hebert said, won't be solved quickly. This is all part of the process of allowing people. What's wrong with this form of government, she said. The charter needs to be amended again. It has to be. This form of government will not work for the city of Lafayette taxpayers. Okay, moving on. Schools starting as anxiety is high. Students, teachers navigate virus policy by Will Santel, staff writer. And before I go any further, Mandy, if you're listening, I'm hearing a lot of, not a lot, but a bit of static in my end. If you could look into that for me, please. Thank you. Veteran Marrero teacher Lindsay Jackson, like lots of educators, students, and parents, is nervous about the start of school amid the seemingly endless coronavirus pandemic. So much about this year feels impossible, Jackson said. Anybody who knows me knows I am known as a positive one. I'm always a cheerleader, and even now I'm having a hard time finding the bright side. Jo Nicole Johnson, a 17-year-old honor roll student at Estroma High School in Baton Rouge, in the running to be tops in her class, is just as anxious. They are just throwing us out there, Johnson said. I'm kind of scared. After weeks of planning, schools are reopening with a combination of in-person and remote classes. The aim is to keep students and teachers healthy and resume instruction that was derailed in March. But even students beyond eager to see their friends and teachers desperate for a new school year say the outlook is blurry. Everyone is looking for normal, but this is just far from normal, Jackson said. Wes Watts, superintendent of the West Baton Rouge Parish School System, believes things will be easier once classes resume. I really think in a week or two we're going to be comfortable with what we are doing that everybody realizes and feels good about, Watts said. In the meantime, 1 in 4 students in the district have opted for virtual learning for at least the first semester. How do you alleviate some of that anxiety for our parents, teachers, students, everybody, Watts said. It is so new. The 2020-21 school year begins as Louisiana remains a national hotspot for the virus, even with the improving numbers in recent days. Governor John Bel Edwards said last week the state will remain in phase 2 for the reopening of its economy until at least August 28th, including a statewide order to wear face masks while in public. Officials of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and other experts have said in-person classes are preferred, especially because lots of students lack computers, tablets, or internet access for remote learning. They say both students and their families benefit from children being in the classrooms and that too many interruptions in traditional instruction could leave permanent academic scars. Jackson, a 12-year veteran of the classroom, will be teaching 3, 4, and 5-year-olds who are deaf or hard of hearing at Allen Ellender School in Jefferson Parish. Her classroom's aide for the past 5 years was let go a few weeks ago. A total of 270 of the school's 670 students have opted for remote learning. How to instruct youngsters who want to touch the teacher's neck to hear the vibrations of a G or her face so they know how to move their lips are just a few of the challenges. Washing little hands every 2 hours is another. Keeping masks on children and finding clear masks that can cost $12 each is another hurdle. After 2 days, I feel like I'm still rudderless, Jackson said, even with a top flight principal. I feel like no matter who you ask a question to, you are constantly passed to someone else, she added. Of course, my concern is whether or not I get the virus, said Jackson, 35. Absolutely, but more than anything, I am concerned there is a little concrete guidance as how I'm going to keep myself and my kids safe. At Estroma High, Johnson is in the running to be a valedictorian with a 4.1 GPA. Her course load includes advanced placement composition, physics honors, and world history and psychology classes for both college and high school credit. She is also a captain of her basketball team, which she prefers to play power forward. It is my senior year, so I want to attend school, Johnson said, but I have asthma. I have one of those underlying health conditions. I really do want to attend school, but if we are attending school, you have to have the right guidelines, she said. Some kids do not take it seriously. Virtual classes are set to begin today on Monday. East Baton Rouge Parish Schools District under pressure pushed back the start of the in-person classes from August 6th to at least after Labor Day, which is September 7th. Even that delay may not be long enough, according to Johnson's father, Robert, a recreation manager. I just don't see the numbers dropping that rapidly, Robert Johnson said, a reference to positive cases of the virus. He said the school safety standards are fine as they go, with so many students at Estroma. I don't know how they're going to be able to hold everybody accountable. Even the virtual classes, which schools were forced to move to when classrooms closed in March, have limitations. Our classes are not right. We are missing teachers, Joey Johnson said. It's like they're starting us off bad. It's going to be kind of haywire. The West Baton Rouge school system, which also begins Monday today, will offer in-person classes for students from Head Start through 6th grade. Those in grades 7 to 12 will have alternating schedules, in-person and remote classes. Watts said some of the district's roughly 350 teachers want to know what happens if they get sick and how the leave works. Students mirror parental concerns, but of the anxiety of their parents is what their anxiety is, he said. They're concerned about the mask, don't know if they can handle wearing that all day, or are people going to be wearing them. Said Jackson, you can make grand, overarching guidance, but as a teacher, I am the one that understands the specificity of my classroom. It seems like some of the specificities were overlooked in this grand plan. All right, let's go to some public service announcements for the morning. The first one we have this morning is about Words for You. It's a fundraiser for the Festival of Words, the annual literary festival, which is usually held in Grand Coteau. Have you ever wanted a poem written just for you? Here's your chance to have a lovely story or poem or song written by one of our esteemed authors. The virtual event, the performances will take place on September 10th. You can go to the festivalwords.org website. On the home page, at the top of the page, you'll see a red banner which mentions the Words for You. You can go to that and get all the information. You can also contact Martha Gardner at fowmartha@gmail.com or call 337-804-2482 for more info. To explain more about the event during a difficult year, creative expression is more important than ever. The Festival of Words has developed an alternative fundraiser to Word Crawl, which is usually held in September. Words for You is a project of commissioned poems, stories, and songs. Under this project, festival supporters will have the opportunity to commission a work by a favorite author. How it works is that you go to the festivalwords.org to begin the process, where we have a list, which is currently down to, I think, about 9 or 10 authors. We started out with about 40 to 45 authors, and I say we, because I am myself involved with the festival, where I think we're now down to about 9 or 10, and the authors are going fast, so you may want to take advantage as soon as possible. So you choose an author and you create an original work for you at festivalwords.org, where you go to the Words for You page. You make a donation online. That's a $50 donation or a $100 donation for a poet laureate. And there are a few still on waiting to reach out and connect with somebody. Fill out a brief questionnaire about yourself to help the author get started. The writer receives the request and enters a new work based on the prompts, and a virtual performance of the new works takes place September 10th. Volunteer authors are including Darrell Bork, a former poet laureate for the state of Louisiana, Dominic Cross, a very well-respected journalist in the area, Tony Daspit, head of the Gear Up English writing program for high schools, Gina Ferrara, Mona Lisa Saloy, Valentina Pierce, John Warner Smith, current poet laureate, and many more. So again, if you're interested, go to you can contact Martha Gardner at fowmartha@gmail.com or call her at 337-804-2482 or Patrice Melnick at festivalwordsgmail@gmail.com, 337-254-9695, or go to festivalwords.org, all lowercase. The Kenny and Symphony Orchestra takes the virtual stage. The Acadiana Symphony Orchestra, or ASO, announces that they are shifting the fall portion of ASO 36 revival season from September to December to a virtual live stream platform. ASO believes that this is the unquestionable solution to keeping our community safe while still providing opportunities for local musicians to share their passion and earn income despite mandated restrictions and uncertain venue viability. Acadiana Symphony Orchestra has and will always remain committed to providing outstanding performances to Acadiana and fueling the cultural economy of our region. Symphonies, businesses, and organizations across the country are having to rethink, retool, and reinvent. We are no different, so thank you for your grace and your patience as we map out the next few months. We are working tirelessly behind the scenes to solidify plans for these virtual concerts, and it is our commitment to you that we will clearly and concisely communicate ASO 36 revival season details in the coming weeks. At a minimum, we are certain that you will receive the highest quality live streaming performance which you can enjoy from virtually everywhere. The lineup: Unite. The first program is entitled Unite, Friday, September 11th, 2020. That's a virtual performance. Triumph, Friday, October 23rd, 2020, virtual. Transform, Friday, November 13th, 2020, virtual. Believe, Thursday, December 17th, 2020, virtual. Adore, Friday, February 12th, 2021, at the Acadiana Center for the Arts. Empower, Friday, April 16th, 2021, at St. John's Cathedral. And Revive, Thursday, May 13th, 2021, at St. Mary's Church. Okay, getting back into the news, we'll get back into local news. This is an article entitled "We Need His Spirit." New Johnson Street Art Box pays tribute to late member of local theater community by Megan Wyatt, staff writer. If you've gotten out of a lot lately because of the coronavirus, you might have missed a few public art pieces that have popped up over the summer. One is a traffic box in the heart of downtown Lafayette that pays tribute to Andrew Lee Vincent, a rising star whose death shocked the local theater community 2 years ago. It was great to see this be completed at a time like this when taking a walk and viewing public art is one of the few luxuries we have, said Jake Falk, a project coordinator and visual arts director of the Acadiana Center for the Arts, or the ACA. More than a dozen utility boxes around Lafayette have been decorated with vibrant screen-painted designs of local artists since 2015. This particular art box near Jefferson and Congress Streets was dedicated last week for Vincent, who died by suicide in September 2018 at the age of 23. Artist Kayla Zeke designed and executed the project with input from Vincent's family. They sort of channeled everything that they wanted the box to be about, Zeke said. And so I took all of that and figured out how to make all of these things work as one image. I think it embodies what he stood for. That love is everything, equality, and we need his spirit, that energy. Zeke said Vincent helped her hang her artwork in a downtown gallery, and she designed one of his play's posters. Hub City Diner, where Vincent worked, funded the public art project. The art box highlights Vincent's creativity as an actor, director, dancer, singer, artist, and designer that had been an inspiration to so many. Two sides of the box depict poster artwork that plays Vincent from plays that Vincent was involved in. Another side depicts a vibrant image that once decorated Vincent's room, along with the equality symbol and local theater logos, including the logo of the theater company he started when he was just 14. Love is everything written across the box in Vincent's own handwriting, below in smaller lettering, a young man that impacted our community with his talent, passion, and love. The final side features Vincent walking toward a stage set as New York City, his two cats, Fig and Jack, watching him go. "That's my baby," said his mom, Ashley Vincent Saison, through tears during the dedication. "Look at him, he's going to New York." Our darkness loomed over Lafayette's once vibrant community theater scene in the months after Vincent took his own life. Many of those who were closest with Vincent took a break from community theater. Shows were canceled. Stage was dark. Late August, Vincent's family and friends donated ghost lights in the memory at 3 theaters he regularly performed at. Ghost lights, which are a common safety fixture in theaters across the country, provide light after hours to an otherwise dark space. They're also said to provide opportunities for supernatural performances when no one else is around, perpetuating the common superstition that every theater has a ghost. The ghost lights will illuminate the way for others in the theater community, while the utility box has turned an ordinary fixture into something beautiful for anyone who passes by. And on a side note, I have a personal connection to Andrew, having known him personally and having had directed him in a play, visiting Mr. Green. I miss his spirit. I miss his smile. And most of all, I just miss being with him. R.I.P. Vincent. Andrew. Okay. So let's move on to something more lighter. That was a pretty good story. The dedication was a very important thing to happen. 2 Vermilion Parish educators honored. Women are finalists for State Teacher, Principal of the Year competitions by Katie Gagliano, staff writer. 2 Vermilion educators praised for the devotion to children, strong work ethics, and progressive approaches are being recognized among the state's top educational leaders. In July, LeBlanc Elementary Principal Rachel Brown and Abbeville High English teacher Carrie Verino were recognized as finalists for Louisiana State Principal and Teacher of the Year, respectively. The women were among 9 finalists in each category, with 3 finalists named at the elementary, middle, and high school levels for both competitions. Vermilion Parish is the only parish that have been both a teacher and a principal in the finals, to have both a teacher and principal in the finals. The women learned the news from a live stream video presentation. Brown was able to share the moment with her daughter, who started jumping up and down when her mother's name was called, while Verino was tutoring a student via Zoom when the finalists were announced. She didn't realize she was among them until her husband came dancing into the room and cheering. I think my jaw is still on the floor, Verino said. It's a little surreal for me, Brown said. The overall finalists in each category, elementary, middle, and high school, will be honored at a virtual ceremony during the 14th annual Cecil J. Picard Educator Excellence Symposium and celebration later this year, a statement said. From those 3 category winners, an overall Teacher of the Year and Principal of the Year will be selected. Rachel Brown took the reins at LeBlanc Elementary 2 years ago and immediately steered the 10-year-old campus toward major change, helping launch its Leader in Me program and the district's first French immersion program at the school simultaneously. This is Brown's first principalship. The school teachers said she's proud and humbled to impact the culture of LeBlanc and builds a community that molds global leaders rooted in tradition. Every initiative is focused on helping students find their passions, talents, and voices and building their confidence to use them, Brown said. Vermilion Director of School Leadership, Kimberly Ette, said Brown is a progressive thinker who doesn't let the way things have been done limit the possibilities of what can be done in the future. She's an incisive thinker and has a talent for peeling back the layers of a problem, identifying solutions along the way, and smartly prioritizing needs. I can't wait to watch her evolve even deeper into her vision. I'm so proud of her. She's a firecracker. Rachel Brown is on a mission, and you've got to keep up. She's definitely someone to follow, as they said. While receiving high praise from his peers, Brown is quick to credit her success at LeBlanc and the state recognition to her team and all the people who've poured their efforts into making her vision for the school possible. The state recognition is humbling, Brown said, and it's energized her to keep the positive momentum going. With everything being flipped upside down with COVID-19, it's so easy to forget about these things that you've accomplished, and it's so easy to lose sight of your vision. We know things are going to look different, but that doesn't mean that we should not continue to make progress, Brown said. In her Abbeville High classroom, Carrie Verino says she strives to build a shame-free, collaborative, and accepting space that emotionally and academically challenges her students while building their confidence in their ideas and ability to express themselves. Verino says she pushes her students to be engaged in class discussions, doing whatever necessary, including teaching on top of her desk to pique their interest. If you ask my kids, they will tell you I'm super extra and I love it, she chuckled. Farina, who teaches ninth grade English, and says she loves the craft, guiding students through literature, helping them connect classic and contemporary works, and showing students how literature is relevant to their lives. While students may not love every piece, they can take tangible skills away from analyzing the works that benefit them in the larger world, she said. They may say, I don't think I'll ever read Shakespeare or the Odyssey again, but I know I can read a complex text and tell you what it says. However, we're reaching that kid. That's what matters, Verino said. Abbeville High Principal Brett Darby said Verino brings clear value to the school. She's a friendly, well-respected colleague who uplifts both students and her peers. She has natural talent but doesn't rest on her laurels, backing her abilities up with hard work and serious preparation, he said. Darby observed Verino's classes for annual evaluations and said her ability to engage her students and elevate the level of conversation while still making the content relatable is impressive. Her success in the classroom is rooted in her deep affection and compassion for the students and the sense of trust she's developed, he said. She cares about the students. She generally cares about their lives and what goes on not only inside of class but outside of class. If you know anything about high school students, the last thing they want to do is communicate their feelings and talk about what's going wrong. She's very good at bringing that out, and she's good at seeing and being aware of those things and helping them through things, Darby said. Okay, before we move on to other stories, let's read a couple more public service announcements, and then we'll get into our day in history and the zodiac or the horoscope and the funerals in the Acadiana area for today. AOC teams up with United Way of Acadiana for Learn United. The United Way of Acadiana has teamed up with AOC and other local educational groups for Learn United, bridging the digital gap to provide educational resources for households that don't have internet but do have a television. The Learn United program airs weekdays from 8 to 2 on AOC2, Cox 16, LUS 4, and streaming at aocinc.org/watch. For daily schedules and to submit content for the program, visit the United Way of Acadiana website, unitedwayofacadiana.org/learn-united. Keeping calm to the COVID hotline. If you're feeling overwhelmed with stress, fear, and anxiety during this pandemic, there is a special Keeping Calm Through COVID hotline you can call. This connects you to trained, compassionate counselors who can offer support and who can direct you to mental health and substance abuse counseling services. Trained counselors are available 24/7 and all calls are confidential. If you need the service, please call 1-866-310-7977. That's 866-310-7977. Locally, you can call 311 for a program called Stop the Spread. Call instead #Stop the Spread. You can get the latest COVID-19 updates and information. You can also visit 311 Lafayette.services to get all that info. Call centers with volunteers and medical professionals are active 24/7 to answer your questions about COVID-19 and to determine if you need to get screened. You might also call 311 and press option 2 if you're a business owner, employee, or are looking for a job to get information about applying for small business recovery loans, apply for unemployment benefits, and related programs. Okay, let's go to our day in history. Today is Monday, August 10th, the 223rd day of 2020. There are 143 days left in the year. There are potentially 143 shopping days left in the year, as I always say. Today's highlight in history: on August 10th, 1944, during World War II, American forces overcame remaining Japanese resistance on Guam. On this date, In 1680, Pueblo Indians launched a successful revolt against Spanish colonists in present-day New Mexico. In 1945, a day after the atomic bombing of Nagasaki, Imperial Japan conveyed its unwillingness to surrender, provided the status of Emperor Hiroshima remained unchanged. The Allies responded the next day saying they would determine the emperor's future status. Also in the state, in 1962, Marvel Comics superhero Spider-Man made his debut in issue 15 of Amazing Fantasy. Cover price, 12 cents. In 1969, Leno and Rosemary LaBianca were murdered in their Los Angeles home by members of Charlie Manson's cult one day after Sharon Tate and 4 other people were slain. 1988, President Ronald Reagan signed a measure providing $20,000 payments to still living Japanese Americans who were interned by the government during World War II. In 1991, 9 Buddhists were found slain at their temple outside Phoenix, Arizona. 2 teenagers were later arrested. One was sentenced to life in prison, while the other received 281 years. Also in the state, in 1993, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was sworn in as the second female justice on the U.S. Supreme Court. In 1995, Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols were charged with 11 counts in the Oklahoma City bombing. McVeigh was convicted of murder and executed. Nichols was convicted of conspiracy and involuntary manslaughter and sentenced to life in prison. In 2016, Lonnie Franklin Jr., the Los Angeles serial killer known as the Grim Sleeper, was sentenced to death for the murders of 9 women and a teenage girl. Franklin was found dead in his cell on March 20th, 2020. 10 years ago, the House pushed through an emergency $26 billion jobs bill the Democrats said would save 300,000 teachers, police and officers, and others from layoffs. President Barack Obama immediately signed it into law. 5 years ago, a draft of a secret study obtained by the Associated Press found that air traffic controllers' work schedules often led to chronic fatigue, making them less alert and endangering the safety of the country's air traffic system. 1 year ago, Jeffrey Epstein, accused of orchestrating a sex trafficking ring and sexually abusing dozens of underage girls, was found unresponsive in his cell at a New York City jail. He was later pronounced dead at a hospital. The city's medical examiner ruled the death a suicide by hanging. Today's birthdays: actor Rhonda Fleming is 97. Singer Ronnie Spector is 77. Go Ronnie. Rock singer-musician Ian Anderson, who's the lead singer and frontman and flute player of Flautist for Jethro Tull, is 73. Singer Patty Austin is 70. Actor Daniel Hugh Kelly is 68. Actor Rosanna Arquette is 61. Singer Julia Fordham is 58. Singer Nina Cherry is 56, and former boxer Riddick Bowe is 53. And deaths today, the funerals in the Acadiana area: Rosalind Dugal, St. Charles Borromeo Roman Catholic Church in Grand Coteau at 11 a.m., and Rocky Rulli Fountain Memorial Funeral Home in Lafayette at 1 p.m. Looking at the zodiac, or the horoscope. If you're a Leo, look for opportunities to provide mental stimulation and pick up skills and knowledge that allow you to head in a direction that excites you. Virgo is my birth sign. Jot down everything you want to accomplish today so you don't miss anything that can affect your progress. Uncertainty and confusion are apparent, so do your best to stay on track. Libras, you can help a cause or a person without jeopardizing your health and financial well-being. Be smart about the commitments you make. Leave nothing to chance. Scorpio, you or someone close to you will begin to drift. Open, honest discussions will be essential if you want to deal with a personal matter. Sagittarius, unfinished business will come back to haunt you. You can't hide the truth forever. Organize your thoughts and explain whatever situation you are up against from your perspective. Capricorn, Alter the way you live or how you relate to those who live with you. A positive attitude will help you gain allies and information to deter anyone who tries to get in your way. Aquarius, don't get hung up on something that is not your responsibility. You'll have more success sticking to what you know and do best. Refuse to let an emotional incident come between you and someone you love. Choose congeniality over discord. Pisces, a change will entice you, but once you realize what you'll have to give up, you'll feel compelled to look for alternatives. Don't act in haste or make promises you don't want to keep. Aries, take a moment to think and wait for the right moment to put your plans in motion. Indulgence and excess will be your downfall. When uncertainty sets in, take a step back. Taurus, you'll feel the urge to take a risk or make a change that is not advisable. Rethink your steps before you make a mistake that you have to live with for some time. Geminis, pick up information that will help you decide your best course of action. Don't let changes made by others or outside pressure push you in a direction that isn't right for you. Cancers, which we end up with, pitch in and do something to help those less fortunate. Saying a kind word, donating items you no longer need, or taking more time to relax and figure out what you want to do next will make you feel good. And as always, the horoscope is an entertainment feature, not based on scientific fact. All right, folks, getting back into local news for Acadiana area today. Drive-in event series coming to the Cajun Dome. Collaboration aims to provide socially distanced entertainment. Staff report. The Cajun Dome and Social Entertainment announced Thursday a joint collaboration to bring back 1950s-style drive-in entertainment to Acadiana. The Acadiana Drive-In outdoor events will take place at the Cajun Dome this fall. By joining forces and adapting their usual approaches to organizing events, the Cajun Dome and Social Entertainment want to bring entertainment back to the community in a safe and socially distanced way. At the same time, the event companies hope to bring back some revenue. After both have had to cancel or postpone most of their previously scheduled events due to the COVID-19 or the pandemic. Drive-in entertainment is a logical decision when it comes to integrating present entertainment options with social distance parameters in mind, event organizers said in a prepared statement. More than 4,000 drive-ins once operated in North America at their peak in the late 50s. Not only will the Acadiana Drive-In be a safe way to enjoy entertainment, it will also be exciting to bring the nostalgia of the 50 styles events back to Acadiana. The Acadiana Drive-In events will operate within the current Centers for Disease Control and Prevention guidelines. Event goers can enjoy the entertainment from their car or sit outside their vehicle in their designated tailgate spot. Cars will be directed to park at assigned spaces, creating a safe distance from others. The initial Acadiana Drive-In entertainment lineup will be released soon. So for more information, you can visit socialentertainment.net, all lowercase, socialentertainment.net, and follow at Acadiana Drive-In on Facebook for all upcoming announcements and events. Annual Eat Lafayette culinary kickoff event canceled. Giveaway campaign to launch instead by Megan Wyatt, staff writer. The Taste of Eat Lafayette kickoff and Louisiana Seafood kickoff, initially scheduled for August 25th at the Cajun Dome Convention Center, has been canceled. We held on as long as we could, and we were working on multiple scenarios, but with the state remaining in phase 2 for 3 more weeks, there is no possible way for us to host the event, said Ben Berthelot, President and CEO of Lafayette Travel, in a prepared statement. We appreciate the Lieutenant Governor's ongoing support and look forward to having the event back in Lafayette next year. We encourage people to continue to eat Lafayette and support our parish's locally owned restaurants. They need our support now more than ever. The annual event usually takes place in June to kick off the local dining campaign, Eat Lafayette. Organizers decided to reschedule the event for August in hopes that reported coronavirus cases would slow down. As the event grew closer, the organizers agreed that it would be best to cancel the event due to limited capacity and ongoing safety concerns. In place of the event, Lafayette is partnering with the Lieutenant Governor's Office to give away 2 trips to a Louisiana state park. Diners will have the opportunity to register for a 2-night stay at a Louisiana state park of their choosing. One of the winners will also be treated to a shrimp boil with 10 friends from a local Lafayette restaurant courtesy of Louisiana Seafood. The giveaway will kick off August 24th and last with the end of the campaign on September 13th. Diners can register by dining in or picking up a meal from an Eat Lafayette restaurant and scanning the trip giveaway QR code that will take them to the registration form. Or for more information on the trip giveaway, you can visit eatlafayette.com/events. Okay, well, we'll look at a couple of state stories. Before we do that, let's read a couple more PSA, shall we? Medicaid Resources. If you've lost your job or have reduced hours, you may be eligible for Medicaid. You can apply online at mymedicaid.la.gov. You can also apply by calling 1-888-342-6207 or by mail by sending information to Louisiana Medicaid PO Box 91283 Baton Rouge, LA 70821. Local Medicaid offices are currently closed due to the pandemic, so additional assistance is needed. You can call again 888-342-6207. Locally, LEDA, individuals whose hours are being reduced at work or have been laid off from employment may qualify for unemployment insurance benefits. If you're attempting to apply for unemployment insurance and not able to access an existing online account or need help resetting your password, call Lafayette's Acadiana Workforce Solutions Office at 337-262-5601. That's 337-262-5601. In addition to unemployment insurance benefits, individuals looking for supplemental income can consider local employment opportunities with businesses who are seeking temporary, part-time, and full-time workers by visiting the COVID-19 Help Wanted resource page at lafayette.org/helpwanted or LEDA's virtual job fair page for local businesses seeking to hire local candidates for full-time employment opportunities at lafayette.org/jobs. Okay, now getting back into the news. Second surge in nursing home poses a threat for hospitals by Yusuf Radad, staff writer. As cases of the coronavirus in recent weeks across Louisiana have risen in recent weeks across Louisiana, hospitals and public health officials have watched nervously to see whether the rising number of cases in so many communities would impact the state's nursing homes. A number of the state's hospitals, including the largest facility in Louisiana, are strained again by an influx of patients diagnosed since the state relaxed the stay-at-home order and started allowing businesses to reopen. Hospital managers from fearing a large outbreak in a nursing home could have abruptly overwhelmed healthcare systems, especially in hotspot cities. It could be catastrophic, said Dr. Amy Gerusio, Associate Medical Director for Hospital Medicine at Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center in Baton Rouge, the state's largest hospital. One of the bigger nursing homes, if they have a bad outbreak, could literally fill the hospital and take every bed we have. The virus spread too to other Louisiana group living facilities. The Southeast Louisiana Veterans Home in St. John Baptist Parish saw some of the deadliest outbreaks in late spring after more than 28 residents died by early May. The reserve facility has reported 80 cases and 33 deaths since the beginning of the outbreak, but haven't had any new cases or deaths since early July, according to state records. Chief among the hospital's concerns in a scenario that sees nursing homes hit hard by the virus again, that would likely require admitting more patients who would be likely to have more severe symptoms. That in turn would require longer hospital stays and a need for a greater level of care. In Louisiana, high blood pressure continues to be the top underlying health conditions in fatal coronavirus cases, followed by diabetes, obesity, and kidney and heart disease. Nursing home residents tend to be older and a large share of them have at least one of those conditions that make them especially vulnerable to COVID-19. Long-term care facilities in the Acadiana and Lake Charles areas have seen cases rise more sharply in recent weeks, according to Health Department data analyzed by the Advocate and the Times-Picayune. Those areas were largely spared of significant outbreaks this spring when communities and nursing home infections centered mainly in New Orleans and other population centers. In the same period, nursing homes in East Baton Rouge saw fewer new cases. They reported 74 new cases among roughly 2,175 residents, while nursing homes in New Orleans Parish reported only 11 cases of late among nursing home residents who numbered 1,603 at the latest census. Coronavirus tests were in short supply from the outset of the state's outbreak. It's difficult to tell how many nursing home residents contracted the virus and potentially developed some immunity to it. It has, however, led to a greater understanding of how the virus is transmitted by people who don't seem to be impacted by it, underscoring the importance of wearing masks and taking other precautions while in close quarters. Nursing home populations have dropped in the past few months, likely due to several factors, including facilities not taking in short-term patients, needing post-surgery rehabilitation, while hospitals weren't performing certain operations. One potential option to understand the virus's reach in the state would be to test all residents' blood for signs of antibodies, which indicate someone's immune system had a response for the new virus. The key to preventing a hospital surge, as it was since the onset of the pandemic, is for nursing homes to hold the line against the virus until a highly effective treatment or vaccine is developed, health experts say. Okay, and looking at the crime blotter in the area, one teen killed, one injured in Port Barre shooting. A shooting Saturday night in Port Barre that left one teen dead and another injured was at the scene of a party that was about to be shut down by police, KATC TV reported. The two teens were backseat passengers in a vehicle that another young man and a young woman were in, Port Barre Police Chief Dion Boudreaux said. Before we were trying to find a parking space near the event at the American Legion Hall on Bayou Drive. The party was about to be shut down by Port Barre police, who had found the parking lot packed and the facility well over its capacity under COVID-19 restrictions of 50 people. As the officers were discussing plans to shut the party down, they heard shots ring out about a block away. Chief said, someone in another vehicle passing the vehicle containing the victims fired into the back seat, striking the 16-year-old in the back and the 17-year-old in the leg, the chief said. The driver of the vehicle drove them both to the hospital where the younger boy died, the chief said. Sheriff's deputy shot in 2016, attack returns to Baton Rouge by Yusuf Radad. Nick Tullier, an East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's deputy, was critically injured in the July 2016 attack on local law enforcement and outlived a bleak prognosis he wouldn't survive, has moved back home to Baton Rouge after nearly 4 years of intensive medical treatment in Houston. In an at times emotional video posted Sunday to Facebook, Tullier's father, James, revealed to families a big secret, as he called it. He explained that the family had been looking for a new home after living in a Houston apartment that was close to TRR Memorial Hermann Hospital, but made caring for his son a challenge because it was too small. Late into the video, and after a long pause, he says, "We've moved back to Baton Rouge." For the past several years, Tullier's family has advocated for him, often at his bedside. They've used social media and other online platforms to exhort their tens of thousands of supporters and followers not to give up on Nick, despite him needing intensive medical and therapeutic care. Nick Tullier has long outlived doctors' initial prediction that he had little chance to survive his injuries, as well as concerns that his condition left him prone to pneumonia, which has led to frequent returns to the hospital. In his post, James Tullier shared videos and pictures of his family moving Nick Tullier from their Houston apartment and into the van that brought him back home. Nick Tullier is a Denham Springs native who graduated from Denham Springs High in 1994. He worked as a patrol deputy for the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office for nearly 20 years. And finally, we end up with a sports story. Ready to get to work after sitting on ERUL defensive tackle Humphrey, poised for big season by Kevin Foote, sports writer and staff writer for The Advocate. The UL coaching staff couldn't wait for Taylor Humphrey to become eligible. For a while, after transferring from Florida International for last season, there was some hope the 6'5", 333-pound defensive tackle could aid last year's defensive unit. Humphrey was hoping as well. The patients learned through that process as a former Klein Oak High of Houston standout, even more determined for this fall. It's been real humbling, Humphrey said of the waiting. I had a lot of time to reflect and catch myself and reevaluate life and how I play, turning over a new leaf. After 2 seasons at a Hutchinson Community College, the fifth-year senior was at Florida International for the 2018 season, where he collected 15 tackles and a sack in 12 games, including 8 starts. I wasn't comfortable with the coaches, he explained of experience in South Florida. There were a lot of trust issues, so I decided to leave. Before he made it back home to Houston, though, Humphrey turned a conversation with U.S. assistant coach Jabbar Juluk into a visit to Lafayette. First of all, the coaches, they were all welcoming, Humphrey said. I immediately felt comfortable. It was weird. I walked in and immediately it felt like home. Wondering if he didn't get to play right away added anxiety to the move. It was tough, honestly, Humphrey said. In my head, I was preparing like I was going to play, but in the back of my head, I knew if I didn't get eligible, I'm going to still have to keep on going hard. So I just on going hard every day, all day. Last year was hard watching football, being on the sidelines instead of on the field. It was very humbling to me. Now I've turned over a new leaf, and I feel like this is a new tailwind. And while the fans didn't get to see Humphrey in action, UL's coaches saw the potential impact he can make during practice sessions. Taylor Humphrey brings a little something different, UL coach Billy Napier said. You guys haven't seen him, but we practice against him. We know what he can do. Humphrey can clearly see his role on UL's 2020 defensive unit. I see myself fitting in pretty good, he said. I put in a lot of hard work with my teammates. We're all just ready to get to work. I see my role being right there in the middle, stopping the run and for disrupting the quarterback on the pass. New defensive coordinator Patrick Toney, who was certainly elated to have this newcomer, aid in his transition from the secondary. Taylor brings a huge presence in the middle of the defense, Toney said. To play good defense, philosophically, in my opinion, it starts inside out, right? That's going to be a huge help to have a guy who's going to command double teams at that position. It's going to have an impact in the pass rush to be able to push the pocket. During his first season in Lafayette, Toney is impressed with Humphrey's progress. And Taylor's a guy who's worked extremely hard since he's gotten here, Toney said. He's gotten in shape, he's gotten stronger, and he's learned the defense. He's moving well. To have that guy in the middle is going to help us and hopefully improve us from a rush defensive standpoint first and foremost. We're excited to be working with him. Humphrey doesn't even think the offseason coronavirus obstacles will keep him from achieving his potential with the Cajuns this fall. It's not that hard, Humphrey said. I've talked to the guys a lot. We have group chats that we're in. We talk regularly with the coaches. We talk regularly about the plays and football. So I feel like I'm going to be pretty comfortable and I'm going to just fit in just fine. After all, he's had to wait too long to pass up this opportunity. And learned just to appreciate the game, he said, because you never know when it's going to be taken away from you. It's just very humbling. And that about wraps up the news for today, Monday, August 10th. I appreciate you tuning in. We're just a minute past airing on our TV stations. You can probably still hear the broadcast on our YouTube station, which is AOC Community Media, and our online streaming station at Cypress Street Radio. That's CYPRESS Street Radio Live. You just click the online go to that page and click the play button, and you will hear all the news and programs that are available on our Cypress Street online streaming radio. So again, thank you for tuning in this morning. We always appreciate it. You can hear us every morning from 9 to 10 a.m. Live on our all of our TV stations, AOC Community Media station at YouTube, and Cypress Street Radio streaming online. We appreciate our listeners, and we typically reach out to the hearing impaired community, but also to people who don't get access to the news on a regular basis. So as always, this is Bruce Cohen. This will always be Bruce Cohen. I appreciate you tuning in. Please be safe, healthy, and smart, folks. Please be smart. And when you go out in public, just wear your mask. That's all you need to do. Wash your hands on a regular basis. Sanitize, take the necessary precautions, keep your distance, and we'll beat this thing together. And as always, be kind to each other and have a great day.